so I started with Sir George Martin, who produced all the Beatle records. Got out
Right.
of high school, went to the Institute of Audio Research in Lower Manhattan by NYU my junior and senior year. And then I didn't want to go to Vietnam. That was a big raging war when I was a kid.
Right.
And I opted to go to school at night in Manhattan 3 days a week, went to the Institute of Audio Research, learned about this thing called engineering because
Right.
I was always asking my dad, "Hey, Dad, how come we listen to Louis Armstrong records and stuff like that? And hey, Dad, how come the trumpet's on the left side and the vocals are on the right side?" And my dad was like, "I don't know.
Right.
Go find out. I don't know. You know."
Right. Right. Right.
That's what I did. So I went to a teacher, Miss Coroneas, in my high school, and she found this school in Manhattan for me, and I went there and registered and did that. And the day after I graduated from high school, I was on a plane to London, England, and I had written down on all my favorite records. Where was David Bowie recorded? Okay, here. Where was Elton John recorded? Okay, Trident Studios. Where was this recorded? Where did Led Zeppelin record? Oh, Olympic Studios. You know,
Right.
so I was just had this list and started landed there, started pounding on doors, and luckiest kid in the world. I got through some circumstances that ruled went in my favor. Somebody wasn't there. I came back. That person wasn't there again. I walked down the hallway. Engineer comes out. Who are you? What are you doing? Here's my accent. Where are you from? I'm from New York City. Oh, New York. I love New York. Come on in. And
Yeah.
the first session I go into is Alan Clark, who's lead singer for the Hollies. They just had a big hit, "Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress," and Dee Murray from Elton John was the bass player, and Brinsley Schwartz was the drummer, uh, and I just kind of hung out there. And just I went
From
downstairs.
my perspective, from my perspective, you were divinely inspired, my friend.
I just I was always into sound, always into the way records sounded. So I'd always say, "Oh, where was that recorded? Oh, Olympic Studios. Where was that recorded? Drive Studios. Where was that recorded? Air Studios. Oh, who owns Air? Oh, Sir George Martin.
Nice.
Oh, he
Yes.
produced all the Beatles records.
Mm.
So I got a job there, and one of the first sessions they put me on was the Live and Let Die soundtrack with
Whoa.
Sir Paul McCartney,
Whoa.
and that was 68 piece orchestra, set up all the chairs, set up all the music stands, set up the mic stands, run the mic cables, put the ashtrays out because you could smoke in studios back then,
Yeah.
and then and it was done. It was like live off the floor. The only thing that was overdubbed were the vocals and the guitar solos. You know,
Wow. Wow.
so it's like here
Amazing.
I am, 18 years old. I'm hanging out with Paul McCartney and George Martin. You know.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's
then they
amazing.
put me with a lot of the American clients that came into the studio, and they put
Hmm.
me with a girl from New York City called Carly Simon,
No.
and yeah, I did a record called "You're So Vain" with Richard Perry, the producer, and that was the first record I got my name on as an engineer.
I'm
Thank you.
so proud
They
of you.
gave me
It's
credit
like I
on it,
did
and
it.
yeah, and I'm like, yeah, okay, this is cool. You know,
That's amazing. That's what
it's
you are,
I was
Stephen.
in the right spot at the right time, Steve. You know,
You always say that, man, but I think it's more than that. I'm looking at you and your lovely family.
Mhm.
I had a chance to meet your wife, and all of the success. You're blessed, Mark. You
I
really
think
are. What
so.
kind of background, spiritual or religious background was your family?
Uh, Not that religious. Have a Polish, European, English background. Um,
Mhm.
so
What
it
faith?
wasn't that Jewish.
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Polish Jew.
Maybe that's the connection between us. I don't know. That's awesome. I'm always looking for spiritual continuity. Um, but it helps me sleep at night.
There's all one God. We didn't wind up here all by accident. There's one.
No.
There's one guy in charge. You know.
Yeah, my
So
thing is
so to
how do we
speak.
get? How we get there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But when I do my interview, we'll talk about that. But that's great stuff,
Sure.
man. That is great stuff. So tell me one thing, and we could talk about how to land this plane. Um, you got a kid that's interested in doing music today,
Hmm.
that's really gifted, um, in the way that we used to look at musicians and gifting or talent. What do you suggest they do? Well,
They gotta make some great demos. Um, and by the way, people are making demos that are actually masters because there's nothing to really re-record if you've got a great song and it sounds great. You might want to do some additional overdubs on it and do a proper mix on it. Um, but if you got a great hook, great lyrics, because it all starts with the song, you know that as well as I do.
yes,
You know, if you have a crappy song, nobody's going to care.
yeah,
Right? If you got
right.
a great hook, great song, great performance, um, then you've got maybe a career there.
I think that's what I heard on Max's interview. He said he was going to bed, he was very tired, and he heard something like, uh, "Hit me, baby, one more time,"
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
he got up and wrote it down, and
That's where it starts, man.
that's
That's where
where
it
it
starts.
starts. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
because there's no
streams.
point in even going to a record label unless you've got the ball at the 50-yard line. No point at all.
Mm,
Because
mm,
they don't really care. They want the ball at the 50-yard line. They want something being brought to the table in terms of streams. Did you put a song in a movie, a TV show, a video game, an advertisement? You know, a
right,
movie
right.
trailer. You know, something that creates value for your masters and your copyrights
Mm,
is something that they can bite their teeth into because they don't
right.
have the money anymore to take it to the 50-yard line on their own. The day of, stumbling into a bar, like the A&R guy did, who signed the Black Crows. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
drunk on my butt and I stumbled into this bar and I heard this band and I gave them a record deal.
Hmm. No
That doesn't happen
more.
anymore. No more. No, absolutely.
That's honest.
You know,
Yeah.
and you need to have something brought to the table that's a value. See, the business operates on a 4-to-1 multiple. So if you say, Mark, I want a $1 million advance, no problem, Steve. I'll find you $1 million.
Okay.
But you got to show me $4 million in receipts over the previous 2 years, and I will find someone that will gladly give you $1 million
Mm,
based on what your masters, copyrights, airplay, etc., have all generated.
mm. So
Right?
what
If
would
there's
the
no
what?
value attached to it, then nobody cares.
So if somebody generates 4 million in the past 2 years,
Right?
where would the record label? What would they bring to the table at that point?
They
Distribution
would bring
or?
international coordinated distribution,
Mm,
coordinated promotion, marketing. Most of these companies have their own sync departments for putting that music into film, television, video games, advertisements, movie trailers, wherever you can
wow,
generate third-party revenue from it.
I get it.
If
That
you
is
go to
cool.
like these companies like Hypnosis, who are out buying these catalogs, music publishing catalogs, I mean, there's value there that's that's being audited, saying, okay, this song from 1960 to 1999, whatever, generated this much money. That way, we'll give you a percentage of what it's generated over the years, and then we'll take over and coordinate the money making from that point on.
I'm glad you said that because I never understood somebody buying a catalog. Like Michael bought the Beatles catalog. I was like,
Mhm.
so what? I never knew what all that stuff meant. That's
Well,
crazy.
he got the
That's
publishing
interesting.
assets, so look at it like this. So anytime we put something in a movie, the allocated budget for music of that film is 10% of the film's budget. So if it's a $100 million movie, for example, they're going to spend $10 million on music. And they're going to get a
Mm.
Beyonce track and a Jay-Z track and an AC/DC track, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they come to companies like AMG and they spend smaller amounts of money. But
Mm-hmm.
that's where uh, it comes into play because the revenue is split 50-50. So they're spending a $500,000 on one song in a movie. 250,000 goes to the master owner, and
Mm-hmm.
250,000 goes to the copyright holder, which are
Mm.
9 times out of 10 two different entities,
Wow. Wow.
unless you're AC/DC, and they own every one of their masters and they own every one of their copyrights. Why? Because they own their own studio in Melbourne, in Sydney, Australia. So they recorded everything on their own because their brother was a producer. He had a studio, and to this day they own every master and they own every copyright.
Wow.
So when
They were
they
doing
so when they
stuff
went
like
to
that.
Yeah, so when they went to Atlantic Records, they said, okay, what do you want, $1 million? They said, no, no, we don't want any money. But you know what? Uh, we don't want 12 points. We want 18 points on the back end of
Mm.
the record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, could you imagine 18 points on "You Shook Me All Night Long"? I mean, come on,
I could take it.
worldwide? Yeah,
I would take it.
worldwide.
It's mind-boggling. No, thank you.
Well,
No,
it's just a
thank you.
function of the times, right? I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
like this. Back in the 80s, you could, like I said, stumble into a bar. Wow, this band's really cool. I found a band
Mm.
up here called I Mother Earth. I went into a bar. I called my friend Michael Alago, who signed Metallica at Elektra Records, and White Zombie at Elektra Records. I said, Michael,
Right.
I think I found something that's really cool.
No.
Yeah,
Right.
and I got Michael to come up to see the band perform, and then Michael went back to New York and went. "Ba, ba, 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 ba."
Yes.
Yeah.
So how about now that AI is in the mix in
So
terms of
AI is
music?
a very, yeah, it's a very tricky area. We're actually on the board, Dwayne and I, here at AMG. We're on the board, advisory board, for a company called Staccato, which is a AI music related company here based out of Toronto. It's a brand new
Okay.
company,
Okay.
basically pretty brand new, and
Okay.
we're coming on board trying to advise them on you know how to proceed. We're in the trenches all day long. The problem is that people are already feeding huge amounts of catalog into the AI system. So
Oh.
basically, you have new songs that are being generated based on previously registered and copyright owned masters and copyrights. So somebody owns those. You're creating new works based on that. So that's a legal issue, right? Do I should
Whoa.
I should
I
I
didn't
not
know
have a
that.
piece? Yeah, yeah, it's a big legal issue. Should I not have a piece of that new record that Celine Dion might have just sang? That was an AI constructed musical track.
What?
Yeah,
What? So this
that's the issue
this
confronting AI now.
so this non-human entity is literally acting like a brain, basically.
Scanning the history of music, scanning it
Wow.
through the decades, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, okay? Listen, think of all the music that's going into these programs that are spitting out new songs based on the catalog that they're analyzing. So, should I not participate in that? Should I not have a piece of that action?
Absolutely. That's amazing
Correct.
stuff. Is there anything else we need to say or talk about, you think, on your end?
We got a couple of cool movies coming out.
Oh.
We're picking up this documentary on the Pointer Sisters with Ruth Pointer, so we're very
Hmm.
excited about that. We have something called Play It Loud, which is the history of the early Australian pub rock scene. So early AC/DC, early Jimmy Barnes, early NXS, those types of bands coming out of Australia. So we got that, and we've got a couple of three movies in the can and just waiting to get released that we're executive producers on. We get involved in the music as well in helping them.
I don't know why I thought about Brad Pitt when you talked about those movies. Get him to do it.
I wish. I wish. Yeah, our budget, we're in the like 1.5 to 3, 4 million area in terms of
Oh, that's
feature
all?
length films.
Really?
And then they're already partially funded, and then we work with a Wall Street investor who kicks in the finalized finishing funds to get the movie up and running based on the tax credits, based on the money guarantees internationally. So that's how we get these films done here.
That's awesome.
No, we
That's
we had
awesome.
we had the top three film of last year for The Sacrifice Game, which was with Mina Massoud by Hollywood Reporter magazine, one of the top three horror films.
Oh yeah,
Then we
yeah,
did
yeah.
Bloodline Killer.
How about the film with Tyrese? Did we talk
Tyrese,
about
that's
did mention that?
Bloodline Killer. Yeah,
Oh,
Bloodline
that's
Killer
what that is?
that came out.
Okay.
Got great reviews on it as well. Um, and that's another film that we got financed in this unusual way.
Yeah, I appreciate
Absolutely.
you staying in touch all these years,
Yes,
and
of course.
you always make me feel like somebody, you know?
Great.
I'm like I get a FaceTime from you early in the morning. I go, what did I do to deserve this?
I'm the type of guy like if I'm thinking of somebody, it's like click, gotta call them.
Yes, sir.
Just say
I
just to
appreciate
say
you,
hi.
man. I
Just to say
appreciate
hi.
you very much. Thanks a lot,
Absolutely,
brother.
man.
I'm
Okay,
coming to
buddy.
see you. I'm
Oh,
coming to
come on
see
up,
you.
man. Come on up. We got a lot. I don't know. This winter is going to be a little brutal. I understand.
Crazy
It
up
gets
there.
cold. It gets cold up here. Cold. Very cold.
No doubt, no doubt. What did I start to say? Real quick. Oh, tell me about the film festival real quick, and then I'll let you go.
Right. We just finished the Toronto International Film Festival, which is literally around the corner from our office. It's a very prestigious festival. It's the largest publicly attended film festival in the world, held every year here in Toronto. And
Right,
everyone's in town. Like I said, our office is around the corner. People come to meet us. We go over to the film festival building, which is an actual building with I think 18 theaters in it for
wow,
showings.
wow.
And it's a tremendous asset to the city. And it's all about the red carpet when you're at the Toronto Film Festival. And Denzel was here, and Jamie Lee Curtis was here, and Tom Cruise has been here hanging around. So it's a
Wow.
big, big event for us. We do a lot of business, meet up and coming filmmakers, and meet people that have their own film production companies wanting to get into potential partnerships. So we kind
Right,
of
right,
just use it as a huge networking, and try to pull some business out of it with working with great films, or people may need music for a film, which we have a huge catalog, half owned by BMG Music. So
right.
yeah, we're doing all kinds of cool things. Festival was very successful for us.
Wow. That's awesome, my friend.
Yeah,
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome, awesome. Well, we pulling for you on this end and
Okay,
certainly
cool.
be
Thank you.
praying for you and your family. Kiss the grandbabies for me. Tell them Uncle
Okay.
Steve loves
Yeah.
them.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool.
All right. And
Absolutely.
you'll be in our prayers, brother. Thank you so much, bro.
Okay, buddy.